the god awful daily news that I don't produce every day. The god awful truth. And why is it going to be god awful daily news? Because we have where the devil is in government, and there's 4,500 terrible insurrectionists supporting him in government that have all been elected. Putin assets. We got all Republicans are turning out to be assets of Putin. Oh my God, so easily played. So easily played. So many disturbing things going on. But let's just take a look at what's going on in the world. Elon Musk has no friends. And Donald Trump is losing his friends fast. Maybe, I don't know. It won't be any consolation when, the world gets all messed up. What's up, brah? Aloha, John Simple. Simple, sorry. I did not mean to infer that you were simple. I'm just easily confused and realizing my table, it rocks a little bit, so I gotta fix that so it's not rocking. Because you will experience that every time it rocks. The camera will rock. But let's check out what's going on. There's Tesla stock. Can you see that? Let's see here. That's year to date. Now, it was higher before the year to date. It got up as high as $488, almost $500 a share. It is now $263 a share, down from $500, basically, $488. And, wow. That guy's impressive, isn't he? Look at him. Look at how bad I can do, he says. Look up here to how look at the same angle of the decline of his company is the angle of his Yahtzee expression. Good job, Elon. Boy, the Republican Party sure is cool, aren't they? Ooh. Not all Republicans are in the KKK or are Nazis, but 100% of the KKK people are Republicans. 100% of the Nazis in our country are Republicans. That's for dang sure. Tell you what. So sad. All the harm being done right now. Of course, most Republicans weren't smart enough to be able to see this coming. And some of them are starting to realize they voted for a Russian asset, sociopath, narcissistic, malignant narcissist, pathological liar, who's working for Putin, right? And he wants to destroy our country and take everything away from you so that he can just put all that money in his pocket. And he got Elon Musk in there. We should seize everything Elon Musk has, all of his computers, all of these people he's hired, and get out what we know from them, seize all his money. Oh, I love you, girl. Oh, you know what I was thinking would be fun? Because I could do this in a rudimentary way with a phone that I'll never use it for calling anyone ever. If someone calls me on it, I berate them because no one should ever call me on a number I've never given anybody. And anyway, I have two people watching, right? There you go, 2 people. So, but I could give my phone number out to the 2 or 4 people watching, and then you could call in, and I could put it on speakerphone, and just, anyway, it'd be a pretty low-tech way to have call-ins. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta do a Pete Hegseth here, and drink in the morning. This is what the Yahtzees who have taken over Washington, who are destroying America. They've declared war on America. Republicans have. So I gotta have a beer to settle my nerves just to do this show. There's so much bad news to talk about. I'm gonna cover a heck of a lot of it here in a minute once I get going. But I thought we should talk about Elon Musk. So, let's talk about investing your money, because stock market, or big parts of the stock market, are going to crash, are crashing, going to continue to. He's dismantling all this stuff that's going to affect everything. Everything negatively. Oh, like how about these farmers in Nebraska complaining that, oh shit, 70% of their workforce are undocumented workers? You know, all the white, racist, Republican farmers that voted to destroy their farms. Like I said, man, when Republicans get off the plane here in Maui, they look all over the place and they're like, fuck, is that my ass? Oh shit, it's a hole in the ground. Is that my ass? Nope, shit. They just keep looking for their ass, but they can't find it. They keep finding holes in the ground. I don't know what that's all about, but has something to do with their inability to understand anything. But listen, if you might have been a dumb Republican, if you're not sure how to think smart, stick around here. I'm not that smart, but I can help you out. It doesn't take much, okay? Anyway, how about all that stuff like AI said, oh, there's 85% probability that Trump is a Russian asset. That was Tesla's AI or Twitter's AI that said that, right? Jimmy Kimmel threw that out there. That was cool. But yeah, if you think about it, in addition to the insurrectionist, racist, traitor, rapist, seditionist Republican in the White House, there are these 6 Supreme Court justices that are all of those horrible things that are working to destroy America, right? Which is just unbelievable. The Federalist Society, the Heritage Foundation, ZICLAG is the deep state. If you don't know what ZICLAG is, look that up. Yeah, PBS, Amy Goodman did a great story on Democracy Now! About the deep state, which is called ZICLAG. The 7 pillars of how to overthrow the world through destroying and changing history, education, all of it, government, religion, politics, all the 7 pillars of evil. And that's just such a mind-boggling, horrible thought that invades everything. So let's just take a second here to drink, because cheers to Elon Musk. Now, so let's talk about investing your money, and one little style of investing money, that's selling something short. So you get an account going, you get some assets going in your account, and then you can start to sell short, which often involves them letting you borrow money to do it. And it's risky, and I don't necessarily recommend doing it. But just like there's obvious winners that are going to just drop in your lap over time, like when Facebook came public at $32 a share. It was an obvious, right? Really, you didn't have to be smart to realize that's a stock that's going to just go up, right? There are other examples of that. The classmate of J.D. Vance, the other evil white supremacist from South Africa, who's running our government, Peter Thiel, gave $10 million to J.D. Vance to get him elected in his first campaign, is gonna get every government contract he wants. He is on full blast as far as he's gonna get whatever he wants from our government, just like Elon Musk is, right? But no one sees him, but he's right there, and he's taking all the money for all the surveillance and AI crazy shit that our government is going to use against us. He's going to supply it. And he's going to get a lot of money for that. And so he has many dark, evil companies, but one of them, the one most public facing, is probably Palantir, right? And so it was just obvious when Trump was elected that stock was just going to soar. And of course it has. It's doubled since. And it's going to keep probably going. It's probably going to go from, 50 to 1,000. It's gone from, 40 to 90 since Trump's been in office. And it doesn't pay dividends, so it's not the kind of stock I would recommend you buy. Again, I don't know nothing about nothing, but I have been following the stock market for 40 years. I love it when these experts with whatever PhD or degree or master's they have in economics or whatever, finance, or talking about stuff. They can, my whole life I can never remember something like this happening, and they're 26 years old and they're talking about never being able to remember anything like this ever. And yeah, anyway, I'm 56. I've been watching the stock market since I was freaking 13 years old. But when I was 19, I worked for a blind stockbroker, reading to him, writing his buy and sell tickets. Shearson, Lehman Hutton notoriously went out of business anyway. So, and I just have an interest, right? Used to be able to watch CNBC before they became too full of Republican traders trying to spin their Republican trader narrative always. It's gross. It's gotten into, it used to be pure, business news used to be pure, you know, unadulterated, clean, you know, just numbers and, yeah, anyway. So, selling shit short on the opposite side of Palantir and Facebook, obvious winners, right? Like, there's just going to be some that come along, and which is why you don't want to have most of your money in the stock market. You want to be ready, because stock market's about to get crushed, right? And if you don't have all your cash in the stock market, like I recommended, you might want to be in a stronger cash position all the time, but especially right now. Because if the stock market drops in half, that's when you move in, and that's how you really make money in this country. You keep from losing it, and you make it when you can, and the rest of the time you focus on good dividend-paying companies that are going to pay you. And right now, like I've been talking about, it's interesting because the one thing I've mentioned has just totally resilient, and it's also going to benefit from this climate of you know, corporate doing everything corporations want, lowering their taxes, going to force interest rates down, and that's going to help the companies everybody hates that soak up all the properties and then own them and manage them and see their rents as a commodity. And those are real estate investment trusts, but they pay 90% of their profits out to their shareholders. Stock prices have gone in half since interest rates went up, and they still haven't recovered at all, and they all pay 10, 11, 12, 15% dividends. Crazy money, and they're pretty steady. So, and in the capital management, I mentioned them before. I mentioned them when they were at 19 bucks a share, now they're 21 bucks a share. But you don't own that company for it to go up. It pays 12%. 12%. That's really good money. That means every $1,000 makes 120 bucks in 12 months, and then again and again. Anyway, so yeah, so there's companies that aren't going to go down. Like, I don't think real estate investment trusts have much room to go down, mostly room to go up. But again, who cares? Because they pay you 10 to 15% in dividends. So smart, resilient. Right now, if you were invested in those companies, your portfolio, your IRA, whatever, would be exactly where it was before, if not better. And it'd be cranking in 10 to 15% in cash. So that's what makes sense. Now, selling short, right? You can take advantage of the opposite. If you have just enough leeway of the cash in your cash, you can borrow the money to sell someone else's shares. So you could have sold someone else's shares of Tesla at $488 a share. And now you could buy them back and at $263 a share and give them back to that person who wouldn't have known the difference. And pocket the difference. That'd be pocketing $225 a share in 6 months. So we're less than that. So anyway, and right now there's still a lot of meat on that bone. I'm not gonna say do it, but you watch this. Just understand that there's a lot of anybody with any real money that really actively invests. Okay, they sold Tesla stock short because you can see it. Look, now people are burning the freaking charging stations. The cars are getting vandalized. Things are thrown at them. There's shame. All of the people who bought them were environmentalists with jobs and educations. People who voted for Kamala Harris. Now they're getting rid of them, selling them, not buying a new one. countries won't even sell. Canada's put a 100% tariff on them, so you're not selling any in Canada now anymore. Oh, it's just a bitter tea. And I want to take you down. I'm going to make a short video. I get to in the Toyota showroom, where the Toyota shows how it's made. Okay, 20% of the parts are made in the U.S. 40% of the parts are made in Mexico. 40% of the parts are made in Canada, and it's assembled here in the United States of America. It's an American Toyota, but that's how it's sourced. Okay. So, locally, the most famous cars of all time are Toyota Camrys, Toyota trucks especially. Like, there's literally people here who just make a lifelong business of buying Toyota trucks on the mainland, shipping them over and selling them because the markup is so much. There's so much demand for sweet Toyota trucks. Anyway, on the mainland, they're maybe more of a dime a dozen. Here, they're just like Rolls Royces. And so those just went up in price. Of course, we've seen in the news already, Dodge Rams trucks going from $80,000 to $100,000, right? Thanks to these tariffs, these stupid tariffs that make no sense. And they're the exact opposite of everything Republican liars have been saying about themselves for the last 50, 60, 70, whatever, however many years I've been alive. All my years alive, they've been claiming to be small government, free market capitalists. Free market capitalists, you know what that means? No tariffs. That's what that means, no tariffs. If you're a free market capitalist and you're a Republican, then you're like, what the fuck, man? Wow, my party sucks now. They're a bunch of liars. But of course they always were. It never was a small government. The reason our freaking military is so big is because the Republicans were ramping it up and so on. Anyway. That's where the real fraud, waste, abuse goes. They take nearly $1 trillion, and then they probably spend 500 billion of it and pocket the rest. Find ways to just sequester it off. That was the one thing that was really freaky about the 9/11 conspiracies. I don't know what to believe, what not to believe, but the fact that the day before, Donald Rumsfeld was like, hey, we don't know where $2 trillion is. It's just like, it's missing from the Treasury. And that's haunting right now to think about, with the South African and his little minions going in there and stealing all the data and the access to Treasury money and the ability to change code in there too. That just is a threat to the United States of America and should be rooted out. We need to put these guys aside and lock up for a while we get everything that they own, collect up every place any of that information ever went. Like, that's what America wants. Hello. And heck, even if we left Elon with $500 million, we could collect a fair amount for the United States Treasury. Oh yeah, so back to this is doing the weave. Back to selling shit short. So yeah, man, right now you could still probably sell this shit short because it's probably, could it go from 263 a share to zero? I mean, there's a lot of investment. It costs a lot of money to service the factories and the resources and the size of that company now that exists. And if it doesn't sell cars, all of it crumbles. Could they go out of business? Could that stock go to zero? Could Teslas not exist someday? Our Republican, gas-loving Republicans who love combustion motors because they don't believe in climate change, are they the ones that are going to save Tesla? Oh, it's so great. It's so great. How long before people, and this is where I tell you the news before it happens, how long until people lose trust in their banks because of all this shit? Because it's very creepy. It's very creepy. And start taking their money out. I mean, I've thought about it. So, if I've thought about it, some of you have thought about it. That's what I know to be sure. Cheers, Pete Hegseth, drinking in the morning together. That's right. Oh, it just turned noon, so now it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Pretty soon it'll be 12:20. and it'll be 420 somewhere. All right. Man, it's what a fall. So Musk was this guy, same with Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan once said he wouldn't vote against women's rights. Yeah, bullshit. And so Republicans, gross. And so Elon Musk goes on Rogan's show, who seems like a cool guy at the time still, and they smoke weed together, normalizes Musk. He isn't a racist Nazi traitor yet, or at least hasn't shown that to the world. He always has been, because he's a South African Yahtzee, and they breed them down there, right? And so, yeah, man, the average guy thought he was pretty cool, and Joe Rogan was pretty cool. And now, I mean, it's starting to become clear, you know. But also, think about the grift, though. Think about how much money you could steal, right? If you got the whole country, the government, to want to go to Mars when you know it's not going to happen even in your lifetime, right? What you're going to do is just milk that for your lifetime. You're going to steal money from the world to support your cause, to go to Mars, and you're not going to achieve it in your lifetime, but you are going to milk the world for resources and steal and just so to give people dreams of something that's stupid in its face. If you want to do all that you want to do on Mars, just do it out in the Mojave Desert or in Antarctica or wherever you want, out in some frozen tundra or some desert or some scrub land. Make a whole world where you're insulated from the environment, because of course we're destroying our environment, right? And nuclear war, whatever it is, anything that happens outside, you got this whole city inside their capsules that can handle 300 degree temperatures, 200 degree below temperatures, everything in between, 50 mile an hour winds. It's ready for all that. You can grow your own food, you can live inside and make this fake world great. Do that here on Earth as we destroy our planet, right? Because no matter how bad we destroy our planet, it'll still be better than there. And we'll still want to perpetuate humanity. We don't have to perpetuate humanity somewhere else. We can just do that here in the exact same way for a lot less money without the huge grift, right? It would actually be a practical matter. You could achieve results like in a year. Anyway. So yeah, there's $263 left of meat on that bone. Will Tesla go to zero? How low will it go is the only question. It's gone from $488 a share to $263 a share in the last 52 weeks, or less than 2. I think it's just in like 4 or 5 months. I think it was December where it hit 488, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so all the news. Oh my God. So of course, Trump is making the country safe by importing criminals, Andrew Tate, by letting criminals out of jail, all the January 6th racist traitor insurrectionists who are also criminals. They're pedophiles, they're sexual assaulters, rapists, abusers. They've all been given a whole fresh chance to do all kinds of harm in America again. So that's really making America safer. Good job. Good job, Republicans. You really know how to vote. And I wish all of the people in the media, if any of the people in the media are watching this, which you're probably not, but you know, you never know. Please use Cash Yap's full name. Cash Yap Patel has a name of Cash Yap Patel, not Cash. It's not Cash. Cash is the wrong name. It's not his name. His name is Cash Yap. Yappity Yap, Cash Yap Patel. Okay? You know he was teased. You know it's a source of pain. It hurt his feelings a lot growing up. So let's remind him of that. All right? If they want to go low, we can go low. Yeah, Cash Yap. So please, everyone out there who might talk to other people about or have a voice in social media, if you watch this, please, or if you could send messages out to the people who are in the media, hey, please call him by his real name, Cash Yap. That's the least we could do. as they destroy our country. They're still going to destroy our country, but we can have a little bit of fun making fun of them right before they throw some of us in jail. That's real insecurity when you start, oh, how about Republicans are now going to threaten to jail or deport students who protest if they're not born in America, right? If you come from another country, you better not protest, right? Holy shit, so un-American, right? We will, yeah, so that's scary. And just part of the slow, but it's martial law, right? For some of us. Eventually there'll be martial law for all of us. That's where they're going. They want to, that's what the media isn't reporting. Some people are just starting to notice, but they're not noticing it for the right reasons, but they're noticing that, oh, maybe they want chaos. They want, like, see, so here's what the media's doing. They're saying, well, you know, this is really gonna backfire. It's gonna backfire on them because they're gonna fail because they're so incompetent and they fired everybody, and then they're gonna fail at everything, and then people are gonna see how bad they are at everything, and like they don't care. They know, they expect all that because they win when they dismantle everything, and dismantle the truth and dismantle journalists and lock up journalists and threaten them and take away their rights, and so yeah, and then just like 1984, they can subjugate you to whatever truth they want. They can rewrite history. That's what Putin said. You know, if you wanna take control of your country, you take control of education and history, and you rewrite education and history to tell lies, like Trump and the Republicans do every single day. Trump gave that big speech where he just lied for 144 minutes, and then people backed up his lies, talked about every horrible thing a president could ever talk about. You know, in 7 years in Argentina, it's all it took for them to destroy their democracy and turn it into this country. 7 years of one evil president like Trump, where they took people in planes and threw them out over the ocean. You know, people that like me, who questioned them, made fun of them, or protested. They just threw them out of planes at 10,000 feet, naked, bound, and drugged. Argentina's president and his Nazi government, which is what we now have, right? And we're getting closer and closer to them doing stuff like that. And if it hadn't been for 6 women washing up on the beach, we wouldn't have had like actual proof. But yeah, so that's pretty haunting, you know, to see that documentary about the plane that was found in America that had been used to murder people by the government, you know, before the Argentinian people got it back. But now they're screwed. They got a shitty person in there, a Trump friend, the guy with the chainsaw. All right. So the racist Republican traitors who are afraid of the press, afraid of the truth, they call the truth fake news because, of course, they're stupid and you got to accuse the opposite of being what you are. But they ban the Associated Press, right? And they've let in all these psychotic liars, Russian propagandists, Newsmax, AON, and Fox News, just propagandists. I go to Fox News, I watch it, all they do is lie about shit. It's such a joke how they're trying to normalize all this traitorous, horrible overthrow shit. It's gross. Okay, so if you do the numbers, there's 6 Supreme Court justices that are corrupt traitors trying to overthrow the United States of America, succeeding. 53 Republican senators who are actively doing what Putin wants, overthrowing the United States of America. You have 220 members of the House of Representatives. Add all that up and you get, and then you get the president and all the members of his cabinet and his staff and the racist insurrectionist traitors that have taken over all the departments of the Interior so as to destroy them, like destroying the Department of Education, CIA, FBI, you name it, the list goes on. um, USAID. When you add that up, you get like 350, let's say, executive branch people other than Trump. Like, it's one thing to have a sociopath, malignant narcissist, pathological liar, raised by a Klansman who was raised by whose father was a Nazi in Germany. That's its own thing, right? But then the 350 people that support that disgusting shit and then call themselves patriots, fly their flags upside, not supporting Joe Biden, he was a great president, man. He could have been asleep the whole time, and he did more than any president in history. 16 million jobs. He's so many more jobs than anybody else. Brought inflation and unemployment way down. Paved all the roads in America, or not all of them, but a lot of them. If you've ever driven across the United States, which I just did 6 times, drove across the United States 6 times. I trust me, the roads were worked on a lot the whole time. I didn't mind waiting in traffic for a road that was being fixed, because you should have seen it before with these huge ruts. Anyway, so yeah, taking away the press because they're afraid of the media. That's the biggest sign of a wuss bag, insecure person. If you're afraid of criticism, that's the thing that these inferiorists that persecute, prosecute, murder people who speak against them. It's like, that just shows how weak you are. What a weak, meek weakling. Oh, those 3 meek, weak weaklings that were at this address. You saw J.D. Vance behind the president on one side with his eyeliner. Oh, I was thinking, should I do a show with eyeliner just to celebrate the vice president? I think that might be a little bit funny, actually. And I still don't have a job, so if it gets stuck there for a few days, I won't be embarrassed by my fellow employees making fun of me. So, yeah. Oh God, J.D. Vance, the most weak, meek weakling on the left. Can't believe I think he was a Marine. Oh God, they should be embarrassed, huh? With this. Oh, what a. The least manly man on earth. Oh, only trumped by the guy who was right. Mike Dick Johnson. I mean, what a little meager, weak little man he is. And these are, these masculine Republicans. This is the guy who has a app on his phone to snoop on his son's phone, and his son vice versa, to make sure they're not looking at porn. Some weird ass shit. The guy is such a subservient, weak, meek weakling. And then their master, the biggest, weakest, meekest weakling of all, douchebag, jackass traitor, DJT. That was gross, that whole Nazi speech. Jesse Dollemore did a thing where he pointed out all the similarities between Nazi speeches and everything Trump said in his address. Other people talked about all the times he lied, which was so many. Jimmy killed it. Jimmy Kimmel's like, he lied exactly 1 million times, which was funny. I was hoping he'd tell the exact amount, actually. And we've discovered that all of these firings are being done by AI. Just like a lot of the killing in Gaza is done by Peter Thiel, one of his AI companies that was sold to Israel, is making decisions on where to drop those 2,000-pound bombs, which Israel just got a new shipment, thanks to Trump, of 2,000-pound bombs. The kind that kill people for a whole city block. Just the shock alone kills people for a city block. And Gaza needs some of that, because not enough of those buildings have been blown up. And so Trump just shipped a bunch of those over there, and he's talking about wanting to expel all Palestinians and, of course, take Gaza over as his owned and resort town, right. And yeah, can't believe Palestinians were like, screw you, Joe Biden. Screw you, Kamala. I don't like how you're treating those Palestinians. It's not good enough. How did you not see this coming? It was so obvious. Oh my God. It's still shocking, but it's obvious, right? Just he did with Atlantic. Exactly. Everything he's touched, bankrupt. Just like he's going to bankrupt Tesla. How's that? Tesla, the only way Elon Musk's going to stay afloat is by all of his welfare, all of his government welfare, which is how he's made all his money. Oh, meanwhile, he's just killing. It's so insulting having him fire these people. I've talked about this before, right? Aloha, hey, Lauren, I love you. So, right, like in a family, in a relationship, to your kids, to your spouse, the one way people really hurt each other and cause mental illness is when we pull the rug out from under each other, right? When we don't have to, we just do it out of some spiteful or mean or whatever, insensitive manner. People do this to each other, and in all kinds of ways, right? I mean, the kid who turns 18, whose parents kick him out of the house, or the spouse who leads someone to believe something when they're really just gaming the whole thing, whatever it is. But to take someone's job, right? The mean, evil person, which Trump got sociopaths to celebrate in our country, right? Hurting people by firing them. And so when he fires these people and then says that they weren't doing their jobs well, it's just adding insult to injury, and it is absolutely yanking the rug out from under people, which is going to cause some fucking mental illness and some desperation and some insanity and some pissed offness and holy shit. But of course he wants that chaos. He wants every excuse to shoot at and kill protesters, and he wants every excuse to call martial law, which will then say, I have to take control of the elections. We can't have elections now because we've got martial law and all this unrest, terrorist attacks, assassinations. We are cannon fodder, you know. He'll turn us against each other with guns. He'll turn guns on us. He'll deport us. He'll lock us up. He'll deny us our right to do social media or journalism. He'll do all that shit. Unless he dies, and then J.D. Vance, how evil will J.D. Vance be in continuation of all that with his psycho way of thinking? Holy shit. So yeah, all we can do is make fun of him, have fun doing it, enjoy our lives, dig holes in our backyards, and hope we're all still alive in 4 years, and I'll change this god-awful news into the all-good, greatest news of all time news. All right, good job. Oh, so year to date, Elon Musk's fortune and the stock price of Tesla have gone down 35%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And the numbers haven't even really hit. Wait till they're just starting to seep out. You know, gross national, just like I told you the future news already. Gross national product down, gross domestic product down. Of course, yeah. People who are picking stuff and building stuff and doing all the hardest work, they ain't showing up for work, and they're scared. They're they're sheltered in place. They're sleeping on their American citizens' friend's couch to avoid. They've turned their phone off, put it into a Faraday cage if they're smart, you know. Oh, anyway, yeah, and then you fire all these people, and then you deny it. Oh God. And then the people won't go on an airplane because you just fired a bunch of fucking, or you offered every air traffic controller to quit. You want to quit? Yeah, we can just quit. So just quit. Do they really need encouragement to quit? They have one of the hardest jobs in America. We need air traffic controllers. Holy shit. So yeah, so planes are going to drop out of the sky. Less people are going to fly here. It's going to hurt our economy, right? It's so sad. But yeah, that's the future news. People are finally going to wake up. Oh, wait. This is what he's doing. He's trying to turn this into a state of war all the time. And really, really separate the haves from the have-nots. Anyway, it's going to be interesting. Luckily, most Republicans are good, normal, peace-loving, good people that would never be stupid Republicans. And stupid Republicans are becoming less stupid. They're starting to apologize to their friends and neighbors, realizing they've been in a cult on the path to destroy America for Putin, as Trump is being revealed to be a spy. Craig Unger's books are getting a second look. He wrote 2 books. And the only debate is, did he become a spy in 1980? Or did he become a spy in 1987? That's the biggest debate I think that's out there. Not whether or not he's a Russian asset. And now that everyone looks at everything he does through the lens of, you're a Russian asset, aren't you? And then he keeps doing everything a Russian asset would do in public, shamelessly. It just confirms what everybody thinks about him. And what some Republicans who have an IQ over 80 are starting to figure out. Not too many of those, but, those that are. Of course, Republicans don't need Medicare or Medicaid. They voted to destroy and dismantle that. And don't be fooled by Medicare Advantage. That is a lie. The God love them Democrats tried to make it so this lie couldn't be perpetuated because there's no connection between Medicare and Medicare Advantage, right? They're not related. I thought they might be, and therefore one would be safe. But one of them is a scam, and Republicans have continuously protected Medicare Advantage's right to use the word Medicare. Democrats have tried and failed because of Republicans in getting the truth out there, which is it's not Medicare and it's not an advantage. It should have some totally different name. But it's one of the biggest scams in our country, and Republicans further it because they're all being bribed by everybody that they do the terrible bidding for, which is that's all they do. There's nothing good ever going on there. And I'm sure there's a lot of happiness in the Republican world about all the affordable prescription drugs no longer being affordable. You didn't want to be able to afford insulin, right? None of you have diabetes, I'm sure. Stupid is as Republican does. It is so sad. Let's see. Oh, and then something that a lot of normal Americans, but apparently not Republicans, a lot of normal Americans, they like getting a discount. If they have a mortgage, they get to write their interest off. It's a big tax deduction. It gives them a big check every year, right? The thing that gives everyone a big check every year. You know who wants to take that away from you? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and the Project 2025, the Nazification of America. It's so sad, so sad. Why would people in America vote for Yahtzees? I don't know, especially like little Benny Shapiro with a yarmulke. Why would you vote for a Yahtzee if you're a yarmulke wearer? It's really difficult for me to understand. And I'm the demographic that you would think would be a racist traitor. But no, I got 12 generations. Of course, Native Americans have a much greater claim to being American. But my family been here for about 400 years, 405 years. So, and a lot of them died for our freedoms now. A lot of my ancestors, I didn't serve, but come from a lot of heroes. Let's see here. What else is going on? Republicans. I didn't know that no Republicans were on Social Security. I thought Republicans and Democrats were on Social Security and that they would want to keep getting it. I thought there just might be some old Republicans that want to keep getting their Social Security. Didn't you? I thought for sure, old people would want Social Security. But no, they voted to dismantle and destroy and to interrupt their payments. So that's going to be interesting, seeing all the elderly people that are confronted with homelessness. Oh, that's going to be just pulling the rug out right there, huh? Sending homelessness, elderly out on the streets all over America. It's going to be a good look. It's going to be the chaos that the Republicans are going to say, oh, only I can save you from this. This is all because of woke policies, because of the woke left. This is all Joe Biden's fault, guaranteed. Whatever happens moving forward, it's all still Joe Biden's fault. An amazing president. Thank you, Joe Biden. We love you, man. I love you. You're like a teddy bear. You're like everyone's Uncle Grandpa. Even with dementia. Who cares, man? With dementia, he was 100 times better president, 1,000 times better president, the worst president in American history, and he just tried to call himself the best president in American history again today. He keeps saying that. Oh, God. It's so better than Washington, better than Lincoln. Like, all right, Like, build a statue. Put me on Mount Rushmore. The shittiest person in history, not only the shittiest president in history, is just keep saying that shit as if someone gonna believe it or repeat it, and some people are stupid enough. Cheers, Pete Hegseth. I'm sure Pete Hegseth has already had several drinks because it's noon already here. Shit, it's 5 o'clock there. He's been drinking since like 9 this morning. That liquor cabinet in the Defense Department, now that he got rid of all the generals and all the lawyers and anyone that would ever have any checks and balances, guaranteed he got one big ass liquor cabinet in his office already. The white inferiorist, anti-nationalist. Oh, I watched a bunch of people discussing how we need to see him as the Antichrist because that's what he is, and if we could just create that argument more, and yeah, I agree with you. If there is such thing as an Antichrist, he fits the bill, right? Oh my God, let's see, what else? Oh, so USAID is making people starve, and they're furthering polio and Ebola, and all kinds of children are going to get AIDS that wouldn't have got AIDS, and lots of starving children are going to die, and Republicans are going to dance on their graves, right? While Nancy Mace is going to say, there's blood on your hands, to people who literally help people, right? To the, if you want to spend money, go to the sanctuary cities under attack. They're not sanctuary cities, they are our nation's best cities. If you've never been to Chicago, holy shit, one of the best cities in our country. Seriously. Huge wide streets, free parking all over the place. Chicago has this area dedicated to tourists and tourism that is freaking miles long and a half-mile wide. And it's got a giant bean. Focal point of it all, the highlight of it all is a giant bean, a shiny bean. Love that. If you haven't seen my joke about that, it's just a true story, but it definitely provokes a joke. Giant bean. Anyway, and then Boston. Oh my God, like the oldest city in America, right? Like there's history in Boston going back to the early 1600s. Just above there, my family lived in the 1600s. Daniel Bradley lived in Haverhill. Hannah Dustin lived in Haverhill. That whole area was founded in the 1600s. That's America at its core. Okay, Boston. New York. How's that? The guy that Trump's letting off the hook in exchange for his compliance, right? A quid pro quo bribery in the making right in front of us. They put him, Adams, the guy from New York there, and then the Denver. Oh, the liberal Denver mayor was put on being grilled by racist traitor insurrectionists who hate everyone who isn't a shitty white person. Oh my God. So if I'm going to go anywhere, spend any money, I don't have any money and I'm not going to go anywhere. But if I was, and if I did, and someday when I do and can, I'm going to focus on all the cities that Republicans hate and spend my money there and focus on never going and spending any money in Republican states or cities or anything like that. And I will, just like the Canadians, I'm going to boycott any and all products that come from red states. Of course, Tesla's. I'm not going to go to Walmart anymore or Target ever again in my life. Ever go to McDonald's again in my life. Arby's, Wendy's, Ace Hardware. You name, there's a long list. I've said it before. You name it. I'm never going back. And I'm going to decouple from the few that I can't do anything about. So that's how I'm going to fight back. Is with the one thing that I will never want to do again, and that's support the companies that supported Project 2025, Nazi manifesto that our country is now following right into darkness, right over a gosh darn cliff. Shit. All right. Will we take America back is the question from these people working for Russia. Okay, so you got 350 racist, insurrectionist, seditious traitors, Republicans in the executive branch and in the um, judiciary branch and in the legislative branch. And then in addition to that, there's 4,073 elected state racist, traitor, insurrectionist, seditious, woman-hating traitors elected in states. 4,073 people who were, so that's like 4,500 nearly people that are, they're just like looking at this on the face and saying, yeah, we're cool with destroying the world and doing everything Putin wants because Trump's a Russian asset, and that's obvious, and we're going to say that Russia didn't invade Ukraine and that Biden didn't win the election, and they're just going to perpetuate any stupid, ignorant, foolish lie that they're asked to perpetuate. 4,500 racist, traitor, insurrectionists. So this, one of the worst ones of them all, one of the most dangerous people to our future, Russ Vought, in charge of one of the departments of the Interior, racist, bigoted, seditious traitor, just the weakest, meekest weakling little man that ever walked the face of the earth. The last guy I would ever want to have a beer with, or any man's man. No man's man would ever hang out with a little wuss bag like Russ Vought. What a little wuss bag. Oh God, I'm not trying to sound like a, I understand that, there's it reeks of misogyny when men, or toxic masculinity when men put down other men, but you gotta understand these are the fucking pussies that are trying to claim that they're the ones that are masculine and that they own masculinity, and we gotta get women out of whatever. So anyway, that's why they need to be ridiculed in this manner. When they go low, I am gonna go low, and I'm gonna use inappropriate means because that's what hurts their feelings the most. Anyway, so this wuss bag, he of all people, because he is the meekest, weakest man. He said, and you've seen it if you've watched any of the media, as you know what I'm gonna say, he said, we need to make bureaucrats and all these people elected, all the Democrats, we need them fear they're going to work and be afraid to go to work, and we need to terrorize them. That's what he said, man. He said we need to terrorize our fellow Americans, right? We need to make the people that serve our country upset, fearful, PTSD. We want to traumatize them just for going to work, right? Pull the rug out from under them. That's what Russ Vought has advocated, right? So the response is obvious, right? What America needs to do is make him and all his racist, traitor, seditionist, insurrectionist, Nazi, Klansmen, rapist, people who've seized control of our government, we need to make them hate going to work, fear going to work. We need to traumatize them going to work. They need to know they're the most hated people in the world, in America, in every state, in every town. And of course, they're feeling that because they go into their town halls and they are getting yelled at and ridiculed. And some of the Trump supporters woke up from their low IQ, just got 10 more points onto their IQ, and they're like, holy shit, I almost drank the Kool-Aid that would have murdered me. I was this close, because that's what they're going to pass out pretty soon to you Republicans. You drink this, kill yourself. Elections aren't going to matter because we're going to seize control after we declare martial law because of the state of emergency. And that's how they're going to seize the next election, because there ain't no way anyone's going to vote for them. But they don't care because they got a plan on how they're going to seize that. They tried to do it the last time. Don't you remember? Anyway, it is my problem. I am too informed. All I do since the fire, since losing everything, is just watch a shit ton of news. It's it's just as traumatizing as losing everything in the fire. Oh yeah, Pete Hegseth, keep on drinking, buddy. Okay, What else? What else? Oh yeah, and then of course Republicans are all too happy to screw over the veterans of America. Just pulling the rug out from veterans. A lot of veterans were dumb enough to vote for Republicans, and they are getting bit in the ass. Yeah, so I'm sorry, because they're the people that deserve the most credit. I mean, it really takes a lot of love for your country to want to put your life on the line, to serve your country, in many cases to incur injury, and then to have that rug pulled out from under you, in some cases even by yourself, even if you voted to pull the rug out from under yourself. That's the part that really hurts. And then to be fired, of course, with being told with prejudice that you weren't doing your job well, when you just got a bonus for doing everything better than expected, right? Just a blatant lie on the surface, just like everything Donald Trump and Elon Musk ever say and do in their lives is a lie. Lie, 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 lie. This is the God Awful News, and I'm Craig Hamilton-Bradley. Let's keep on going. Oh, of course, what Republicans voted for, because they don't trust vaccines, they voted for a measles outbreak. And so we eliminated measles 25 years ago. In 2000, there was no measles anywhere in the United States. It was gone completely. And then slowly but surely, Republican racist, traitor, insurrectionist, seditious, dumbass Republican traitors decided to become the conspiracy. It used to be the liberals were the ones that didn't trust vaccines. And then it became the racist traitors, the bigots, who decided, oh, I'm going to associate that with, I don't trust them. And so we got measles coming back big time. And of course, with all the shortcomings that are going to unfold, millions and hundreds of thousands and millions and tens of millions of people are going to get all sorts of diseases all around the world, and they're going to bring them to the U.S. Tuberculosis is on the rise. Ebola is going to make a huge comeback. AIDS. Polio is going to make a huge comeback. That's working forward. And this will all be thanks to Republicans. You know, those good Christians with their values. Worshipping the devil, like literally in front of everybody, obviously. Worshipping orange Lucifer. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that guy's the devil, duh. Oh, you don't see it? Oh, you think he's Jesus? Oh, hey honey, don't talk to that guy ever again. Man, he's fucking crazy. They think the devil is Jesus. Telling you, Republicans, if you're smart, man, you could get some of your Democrat friends back by just saying, sorry for being so stupid. Didn't mean to destroy the world. You know, you can enjoy their company before, nuclear Armageddon comes from your choices. Let's see here. Oh, but listen, if you get the measles, all you need is some ivermectin, or you might want to try a little bleach. I hear there might be something good with that, inside the body. That's dark, I realize. But on that note, almost as insane as that joke was, not really a joke, but whatever. RFK, the dipshit in charge, he came to town. He was like, I'm bringing some antibiotics, erythromycin for the measles, and some steroids, and some cod liver oil, because that's what's going to really help, man. That's going to help these kids with the measles, these three things. Not the measles vaccine, right? Kids have died. A kid has died who wasn't vaccinated. There's a way to not get measles, and that's to get vaccinated. Just saying. If you don't want to get the measles, try getting vaccinated, because measles is spreading across the United States. You might want to reconsider that one. If you only get one vaccination, because you only trust, get the measles vaccination, you dipshit. God. And get it for your kids. Holy shit. Anyway, of course, public education is under attack. They're just trying to destroy education. In a week, they will have dismantled the Department of Education. They're going to cancel it. They got this, the queen of the World Wrestling, Jim McMahon's evil, entitled wife. Like, for those asshole Republicans who hated Nancy Pelosi because she was entitled, or Hillary because she was entitled, why do you love all these sick, entitled, evil, fake women? Caroline Leavitt, freaking this, whatever her name is, in charge of the Department of Education. Oh, she's gross. These people are gross. Anyway, okay, so goodbye, Department of Education, because that's how you win the war, is by changing history and defeating education and manipulating it, right? We just lost 2,000 local jobs here in Hawaii thanks to these cuts, and including the one source of help I've gotten, the food from since the fire. My one source of disaster relief has been food, a program that's been, I guess, partly funded by federal funds. No more. So it affects me a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but it isn't making life any better. All right. Oh, and apparently Republicans hate having themselves protected from fraud. Right? The Consumer Fraud Protection Agency. We don't like them. That's been dismantled and not funded, and everyone's being fired because, they question corporations for ripping us off. So we gotta put those people out to pasture. Go Ukraine. Oh, you know what I think is going to happen? This is the future news. This is going to be the news. I promise you this. In response to Trump betraying Ukraine and real Americans seeing that for what it is, a betrayal to history, a betrayal to American history, who we are, a betrayal to democracy, a betrayal to Europe and Canada and Mexico and all democratic countries, all of our allies. As he just turned his page, he said, I'm not going to give any money, of course, because he's working for Putin. He just cut off all funding for Ukraine, right? These poor people who have given their lives, given everything to fight for their country, for their own existence, because Trump and Putin want to wipe them off the face of the map, just like all the blue states. And it's just sad. But yeah, so Trump, the Russian asset, just stopped funding Ukraine. We sent 2,000-pound bombs to Israel to drop on Gaza, because that's what the world needs, and it is, of course, unfathomable for most people to observe this, and hard to believe, and saying, what the fuck? Right? Jasmine Crockett, my hero. I love this woman. I hope she'll run for president. She would freaking kick ass, take names. Oh, don't hurt that she's hot. But a dark Texas black woman, everything that racist, bigots, misogynists will be bothered by will be so fun. And she'll take on anybody, anything, and speak truth to power. She is so beautiful. She is such a beautiful litigator. She can debate. She can speak to any situation so articulately. She can drop and destroy anybody in any debate. I wish they just, instead of like Kamala, they just chosen freaking her and like AOC as her freaking vice, man. It would have been two women. Boy, would they have been rabble-rousers that wouldn't take any shit from anybody, and they would have come out kicking ass in every debate. Anyway, all right, so massive job losses now, of course, and that's just unwinding. We're going to start seeing all this consumer confidence down the tubes, right? Oh, we cut out cybersecurity against Russia, right? So we're going to invite terrorist threats, cyber terror threats, because we don't want to stop Russia. Because Trump's a Putin asset, a spy from Russia, and he's the president. It's the worst movie ever written, and It's right in front of us. He's not even like a duplicate or an alien. He's just a asshole sociopath who sold out his country a long time ago and has been selling it out ever since. And both his wives were plants. I'm sure they were honey pots, right? Oh. And so, yeah, we'll finally see Melania for the spy that she's always been, probably, and his first wife. I bet they find that she was a goddamn spy. Oh, Krasnov. That's what his name is in the KGB. They call Trump Krasnov. That's been his secret code name because he's been working for them for 40 years. He is ashamed. He talks about how, he brought respect around the world. No, he's brought shame to us all. We're all now ashamed. And we're traumatized because we don't want to be ashamed of our country. We don't want to root for Canada when they play USA. But now we are, and that's not good, right? If you're such a shitty president, you make your own country root for Canada against your country, you're a shitty president. That's not very patriotic. That's the outcome of your dastardly deeds. All right, what else is going on? What else? So yeah, AI has done all that work. They didn't even hire anybody to fire anybody. They just had AI. That's why it's all just an email. It was generated by a not person, right? An evil bot told, hey, cut 50% of the jobs tomorrow. And they just, okay. And they give them some, okay. Anyway. Yeah, so you could sell short, Tesla stock short probably. It's going to maybe bounce up a little bit, but I don't think so. Look at what's really happening in the real world. And that's where, when you invest in the stock market, if you just look at the real world and you look at the fundamentals, you can make decisions just as well or better than any investment advisor. And you can trust yourself, okay, to be working in your best interest. But there will be times when a company's like, oh yeah, they're doomed, right? You can sell that company short and definitely make money, right? And then, hell yeah, and then there's companies that are just definitely going to win. You know, Palantir, they don't pay a dividend, so that sucks. But they just went from, you know, in the last month from 60 to 90. They're probably going to go to 1,000, right? And the company's just going to just soak up every government contract to do every evil thing you would never want your government to do. Everything Snowden is persecuted for. And Julian Assange is going to be so much worse. They're going to spy on us so much. They already are. If I was president, I would go around with a shotgun and just shoot all the flock surveillance. There are 6,000 cities with this surveillance that reads license plates and then keeps track of where everyone goes all the time and their patterns, and then creates data and graphs and has profiles on you people in your towns and cities. This shit we gotta stop that. Why? Because what if we get a Nazi in office that wants to weaponize that against us? Our phones against us. Pegasus, our phones again, right? And then so guaranteed they're using these evil AI surveillance tactics to scoop up people doing all the work in our country, right? 70% of the workers in Nebraska are undocumented. And the dipshits that voted against Trump voted to lose their business. Which is all part of the plan, because then they're going to have to sell them to the corporations. No more humans owning businesses. All farms are going to be owned by corporations. They're just going to soak up all the excess because these ranches, corporations, they can't stay in business. They have to sell their land, sell their cows, sell their fields. And, Cargill is going to own all that instead. Or what? How's that? It's so weird how the Microsoft guy owns like all insane amounts of farmland. Anyway, yeah, good job, you dipshits, Trump supporters who voted to screw your country and yourself. I got screwed a little bit. I'm going to lose my source of venison, but I'll overcome. Thank God I'm not losing my farm or my ranch or my job because I stupidly voted for a racist, insurrectionist, seditious traitor, rapist, pig, Donald Trump. Let's see, what else? What am I missing, huh? Oh, God. Yeah, that's most of it, huh? Right there. That's most of it. I think I covered a lot of it. Know your boycott list. Do not put 1 penny, $1 into any company that's eliminated DEI or that donated to Project 2025 and Donald Trump in this last election. They were knowingly donating to a 34-time felon, Nazi rapist, insurrectionist. I know, thank God for Costco. 98%, that must mean they have 50 in order to have that ratio. But 98% of Costco's, so 49 out of 50 Costco board members voted to keep DEI. And of course, that makes sense in Hawaii, where it's the most racially diverse place in the United States of America. Everyone's a minority. There's only less than 20% of the population are white. So we better know our place, right? We should not be walking around like we're better than other people, because that will get you beat up. It'll fuck up your friendships. And it ain't right. It's not smart. It's short-sighted. It's ignorant. It's stupid. It's racist. So I'm just lucky to live in a place where everyone is so different, and we can all have so much fun making jokes, because ain't nothing better than being in a group of totally racially diverse people, being able to use every kind of racial joke, knowing it's not in a harmful way. Because we know what all the stereotypes are about each other's races, and you can bring those up with your friends and have fun with racial jokes, where none of it is actually mean-spirited. And that is funny. In the future, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of my friends that all know racial jokes and do a comedy show of racial jokes that aren't mean, by local people. Local humor, only local people will understand this shit. But I mean, other people will too, you know. But like, there's like a street joke, like a common local street joke in the Filipino community, but also in our overall community, might sound inappropriate to you, but it's what do you call 2 Filipino pilots? A pair of pliers. So, right? That's not mean. It's just funny. It's a street joke. It's common. And it comes out of the Filipino community. They're the ones who think of these jokes that are always based on their accents. And there's a lot of, you know, I'm not peeling well, you know. It's not racially mean, but it's a racial joke, and it's funny and fun, right? No, there's just no comedy here at all. It's so sad. The one night there's a little bit of it is on Tuesday nights when I'm in my class. It's a at-home computer class. Power went out this week in the middle of my class. That sucks when you're in an online class and you lose your connection. So yeah. Oh, and this is when Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Dana White, Donald Trump will never be able to do. Look at this right here. Oh, they might have all the money in the world. They'll never have a luxurious head of hair. I might be poor, might be homeless. All my shit might have burned up in a fire. But I still got this, baby. Can't wait to show up to my 40th high school reunion with hair. Guaranteed there'll be guys there with a lot more stuff than me saying, oh, I wish I had that guy's hair. Anyway, at least I got something going for me. All right, yeah, gosh darn gee whiz, heck. I think I should have a show called The Woke Show, just to be upsetting to racist traitors. Or I was thinking one of the titles to one of my videos should be The 5 Things I Did This Week. Let's see here. Yeah, I love all the references to robber barons. Of course, that's appropriate. And anyway, what time is it? What time is it? 74 minutes. Damn, a long time. All right, I need to close this up. There's still a lot of stuff I didn't cover. Of course, the danger of firing FBI and CIA agents and insanely gifted lawyers. Why would you want to just make a bunch of lawyers pissed off and angry and fired with a whole bunch of time? A law from Kie. Oh, sweet. Love you, girl. Oh, hey, you're the one on vacation. Yeah, so, hey, whatever, if there's something I can do to be helpful, whatever it is, advice, let me interview you. It would be cool to interview people who are subscribers and who watch, right? Especially, I like people, women are fun as well, but just people that are over 50, like I mentioned, they've got a wealth of knowledge and perspective, right? They've learned a lot. They spent their whole time, and experience has taught them a lot, right? And they've studied a lot of shit, and they haven't forgotten it all, right? If you're your 50s or 60s, your mind hasn't started to collapse. It might start in your 70s, 80s, 90s, if you're lucky to live that long. But if I could interview just a plethora of people in their 50s and 60s that aren't famous, none of these racist assholes that are cycle through all the podcasts, all the Ben Shapiro's and the Candace Owens that make me sick, and the Jordan Petersons, God, they make me sick. Real people who've lived real lives, who have real advice, and who can speak to real experiences. That would just be cool. Anyway, that's one of my motivations, and you could be the beginning of that. Anyway, I'm speaking to a subscriber who is here on vacation, and they're about an hour away by car. Yeah. But yeah, if there's something I do to, whatever, some advice you need or help you need, I don't know, let me know. Love to be helpful for one of my subscribers while they're here on vacation, nothing like a random act of kindness. So, yeah, you won't hear that in the Republican conservative world, random acts of kindness, random acts of terror, of cruelty, of harm. Let's do some harm today. How many ways can we do harm today? Oh yeah, that's the Republican mantra. And what's gross and funny, I mean, it's amusing watching these shills, these ball carriers, these nut supporters carrying Donald Trump's nuts around, J.D. Vance's nuts around. Oh, it's gross. The Heritage Foundation, Ziklag, the Federalist Society. Oh, it's laughable. But we're just eliminating waste, fraud. No, you're not. You're just corrupt as shit. You're stealing money. You're destroying and dismantling everything that's good. And of course, there's going to be future discussions about, well, why the hell would anyone pay federal taxes if you don't get anything for your money, right? If what you get back for all that money you pay in taxes is zero from the government because they fired everybody and they decided they're just going to keep all the money, they're going to save money. And the part where they're moving all that money saved to tax breaks for the ultra wealthy is so offensive. And of course, Fox would never report that. And they've accused all the other news agencies of being fake news. So if you're a patriotic traitor, you won't watch any other news source. So you'll never hear that all the money that is going to be taken away from you and Social Security and Medicaid and your veterans benefits and every government agency, you can't visit your parks because they don't have employees anymore. That's right. Republicans hate the national parks. I'm looking for more Democrats who like the national parks to vote in next election and the one after that. We don't need you racist traitors who don't want the national parks open because you don't believe in them, because you're racist insurrectionist traitors working for Putin when you vote. You're voting for more mass shootings of children. You're voting to destroy the environment. You're voting to take rights away from women, which is disgusting, reprehensible. It's deplorable. You're such demons in our world. You are the enemy within. So, Craig Hamilton Bradley for president. Anyway, or Congress. Man, would I love to get in there. Get on that podium, speak to frickin' Marjorie Taylor Greene, point out what a kind of person she is in some sort of polite manner that won't be getting kicked out of there. That'll be the art. Oh, I can't wait. If I could get into Congress, the art of slicing and dicing Republicans in public with language that won't get me kicked out. Oh, God. Well, we'll see. Maybe my dreams will come true. But if not, I'll be stuck living a life of obscurity here in Maui. It'll just be terrible. No, my life's going to be good either way, pretty much. Even if I live in my car soon, still going to have a great life. So ain't nobody got to feel sorry for me. But I do feel sorry for you living in my country, getting screwed over by a Yahtzee Nazi. And everybody now hates Elon. How would you like to have all the money in the world and have everybody in the world hate you? I don't want to be hated by everybody. I'd at least like to be liked by half the people. But literally everyone in the world hates Elon. It's like that everyone hates Chris TV show. That's what's great about it. It's so reminiscent of a TV show. Everybody, and then of course, many of his low IQ, dumbass former Trump supporters are waking up, and they're realizing. And how long will it be before there's a run on the banks? Because we can't trust our money in the bank because all our shit was stolen, all our data was stolen, all our most private information, all the IRS information, all of our work information, everything, your bank information, right? And wait till you're judged on that, and wait till they just start stealing money from your bank, just like they just did from the U.S. Treasury. They just stole from the U.S. Treasury, guaranteed. And we're just acting like, Elon Musk is so smart. He's doing smart things, so we gotta just let him do that because, like, he hires smart people. Oh, Democracy Now! Amy Goodman, she did a story. She put all 6 of those guys. I should put that up. All 6 of those piece of shit little Doge 20-year-olds, the little racist traitors who hate other races openly, and who stole your information and your bank information, and who just stole money from the treasury, put it some in their bank account, put some in Elon Musk, put some offshore. Who knows where that money's going and where it went. But I guarantee you when they go, oh, where is it all? Oh, it's not all there anymore. Sorry, you're supposed to pay all these people back. Yeah, Doge bags, I know, but I prefer just douche. They are the douchebag, Doge bag, whatever. They're the worst people. There's no words to describe how terrible all these people are and what they're doing. And it's just so sad. So I'm here with you. I feel terrible with you. Let's make fun of these people. Let's have fun in our last days, if that's what these are. Maybe build a bunker. Stock up on some canned food. Get an indoor greenhouse going. I don't know, maybe you can grow some food. I don't know. What can we do? Future not looking too good, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe there's still hope. Maybe there's still hope. I don't know, though. I don't know. I wish there was. I should have got into politics sooner. If I got into politics, we could have had some cool brother in office, fighting to make America a better place. I got so many ideas that maybe never be heard. But I'm gonna start telling you on this show, on this channel. Hopefully I'll do it more often. I'm just so traumatized all the time, and now by the news all the time. It's hard to do anything consistently. Cheers to you, Pete Hegseth. Here's to drinking in the morning. Oh, we got a white inferiorist with white inferiorist tattoos. A racist traitor agenda. They just fired all the women and black people from high positions. They fired all the lawyers. Women voted to make sure that they are treated prejudicially. I can't believe it. 53% of white women voted to screw themselves. And you know how they're going to steal your right to vote, ladies, right? Because they've already talked about how that's going to work. They're going to tell you, unless you got the same name as you was born with on your birth certificate, you can't vote. So if you're married, you got your husband's name, you can't vote, etc. If you change your name because you're transgender, it's attack on transgenders, you can't vote. So that's going to be the first way they take away women's right to vote. Start making them handmaids all over the country. right? Because that's what Republican women are dying to become, handmaids. Now, if you want to talk about values, let's talk about America's vaginas. Now, in a country that takes care of its vaginas, right, the overall health of a country's vaginas is assisted by reproductive health care. The country with the best reproductive health care is going to have the healthiest vaginas. The countries with the healthiest vaginas is going to have the brightest future and the healthiest kids, because you need healthy vaginas for healthy kids to come out of. So if you want to make America great, you protect women's rights to reproductive health care. Those are real American values. Protecting America's vaginas. All right. And the world is that simple, okay? It really is. Oh, did I just lose somebody? Sorry if that's offensive. I apologize. That's what I'm here for. If I haven't offended you with one thing, I'm going to offend you with another. I've been losing subscribers steadily for about a year now. Yeah, and I don't. It's neither here nor there. All right. So yeah, keep up the good work. I love these ladies. I've had it, and the ladies of Hysteria, they're doing good work, real kind of journalism, and let's see, who else is awesome? Occupy Democrats. Those guys are doing great work. I do love those guys. They bring it. They bring in the news. Oh, have you heard? The Supreme Court just legalized poop water, thanks to Kyle Kalinske. He's doing pretty good work. Occasionally, there's just too much deference given to all the things that don't make any sense at all. There's no common sense. Of course, now they're calling themselves common sense people. No common sense. Common sense lives outside of the Republican Party. That's why they're doomed, but for a little while, they are gonna cause a lot of harm if they don't cause the end of the world, because of their inability to manage anything in government, including our nuclear stockpile and our military and our foreign policy with regards to our military. So anyway, cross your fingers. Know the companies not to spend money on. Let's watch Tesla fall apart. Let's see how much short sellers make, right? If you sold the company short today after it's already dropped 220 points, how much more money could you make? That's a good question. I'm not going to take that risk. I'm not going to recommend you take big risks. But when that stock was up high and this was already obvious, a month or two ago, that would have been a real smart time to sell this shit short, because it's obvious, right? None of these big diesel truck driving, coal burning Republicans that would never buy a Tesla are going to buy a Tesla, and all the people that bought Teslas did so because they're intelligent enough to want to be efficient, or they care about the environment, and there are no Republicans that care about the environment. They literally have declared war on it for the last 50 years. So, if Republicans were smart, George Bush would have said, "Oh, Al Gore, great job, man. You were smart. I won, but you were right. We got to do what we can to protect the environment and these melting ice caps and all that other stuff," right? That's what we needed to do, obviously. If you were a real American patriot, a real citizen of the world that cared about humans and your grandchildren, you would have, as a Republican in the year 2000, after you stole that election, you would have taken to heart everything Al Gore said and did in his movie, right? But no. Putting profits and racism, bigotry, all that stuff putting all that before the health and welfare of America's future, America's well-being, American patriots, American citizens, and it's too bad. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna shut up. At least I did this show again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your nice comments. Thanks for all your support. Pretty soon I might just add clips in, all these guys I watch that I like. It's cool watching Midas Touch. I've been with them since they had 100,000 subscribers, because they're obviously good people doing the good work. Jesse Dollimer. I would like David Packman if he didn't complain about tipping but he does good work anyway. But David Peckman, you should take that back. And who else? Who else? Yeah, those are a lot of the good guys. A couple of people at TYT are all right. You know, Rebel HQ, that guy's cool. Legal AF, that guy's cool. Yeah, a lot of good sources. Democracy Now!, PBS News is incredible. I watch all the major networks too, including all the right-wing dipshits who just lie. It's just amazing. I just love to see how stupid they are, right? How far away from what's really going on in the world, what they're talking about is, and so it's fun, and sad, and dangerous. All right, love you guys. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching All Good Things in All Good Time. Aloha, love you guys.